So we're here with Luke Shaw, a good friend of mine here locally in Calgary. Known you for a little while now, I guess. I know that we started in the sort of in the e-com space. I feel like that's where we met, and now we're here in the agency space.
That's it. Yeah, it's been years. Met through a mutual friend, probably I don't know what 5 years ago.
Yeah, five, six
Uh,
years. That's crazy.
Watched you start your agency from a distance, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, cool to see what it's turned into, and congratulations on everything, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Well, it's been cool working alongside you. I know that you've been in the marketing space even probably like a little bit longer than me potentially, because I know that you come from obviously an ecom background, but you've always been doing a lot with marketing and advertising in terms of like ads and websites specifically. And then obviously just recently we started collaborating a lot more with like just inside the community, but also with a lot of clients that we're referring over to each other, which has been a lot of fun. So. I guess I kind of want to ask you a little bit about just like your background. Like, how did you basically get into marketing and advertising and start building websites and everything there?
Sure. So I started a business with a friend when I was in my mid 20s, and I kind of did all the marketing for that. He was great at the social media and all of that side of it, but I did the website, kind of all the back end functionality of it.
Mhm.
Uh, so as I started doing that for myself, I had other friends that were looking for help with it. I realized how much I enjoyed it and kind of dove deeper into it. As that kind of first business faded out, as it does when you're in your mid 20s and your first crack at it. Um, I've realized how much I like the technical side of websites, diving into the integrations, all of the kind of all the parts that bore everyone else. I put myself through night school to learn some code, um, and kind of just dove into it from there. So I did freelance kind of web development for years.
Mhm.
I held some contract positions with some bigger companies. Worked with Honda Canada for a couple of years, doing a lot of UX and UI for them.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, grew into kind of the agency side of it. So it's been a fun journey, and I feel like I'm still just getting started.
That's awesome, man. I'm interested to know like how long did it take you? Because obviously when you started taking website development seriously, you're putting yourself through night school. How long did it take you from the point of pretty much landing these website development clients to then getting to the point where you were landing clients like Honda and like some of these massive companies as well too? Because I know that, obviously me and you have gone back and forth with some of the huge clients that you've worked with. So how long did it take for you to kind of go from like starting to actually land those bigger whale clients, you could say?
Well, I got pretty fortunate. It was through a contracted position that I worked with Honda, so it was
Cool.
with another agency, but I was hired on to help them. It was a couple year, 2, 3 year project,
Nice.
redoing 3, 4 of their websites.
Okay.
We did the Honda Marine, we did Honda engines, uh, power sports, which was a big one, and then kind of got into a lot of the sub apps. So the user experience through the sub apps, how it all maps out.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it's crazy how things work. I know that even for like myself, it was kind of once I decided to basically specialize within a specific service and niche, that's when things really start to, snowball for me. Because it went from like, it took me a few months to land my first client. And then from there, it was like just this, it was like a rocket ship. It was crazy. Like we went from like one client, our first client in a few months, and then it was like three clients, and then we surpassed 10 clients. So it just kind of starts to happen like pretty fast, right? But no, man, that's super cool. And then now you're obviously, so you're still building websites, you're still doing web development, but you're also focusing a lot within like the go high level space. I know that we've gone back and forth and you're doing a lot within Google reputation management, SEO. Tell me a little bit more about that and how that's basically going for you.
Yeah, it's good when you talk about kind of niching down and figuring out your service and um, your offer and all of that sort of stuff. Like I feel like I'm standing on the launch pad right now, and through your course, I've been able to kind of hone down my service and figure out what exactly I want to do.
Mhm.
So it's exciting just doing the countdown for the rocket ship. It's been a good first couple months, but
Nice.
yeah, diving into go high level has been it's been pretty awesome. There's a ton of functionality within that one software. There's what, like 30 softwares. I got the breakdown of it all here on the computer, but there's a ton of
Yeah.
software within it. Um, and it enables you to offer a lot to the clients.
Mhm.
You can obviously get them to pay for the monthly to have access to the software. You're saving them thousands of dollars on subscriptions every month.
Yeah.
Um, and it enables you to kind of broaden the horizons and say, now I can do your website, now I can do your SEO, now I can do your Google management, now we can have all the reporting for your ad campaigns, like when we work together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a great platform to work with so far.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it was funny because like I know that I mean, we've been connected for like the past 5 or 6 years since we've known each other, but I feel like when we connected on the point where you were considering enrolling in the community and actually getting our guidance and everything, it was almost for different reasons than what you're actually kind of pursuing now. Like I think before it was definitely the idea of having more of a reoccurring customer base. And trying to do something in a sense where you could like get your agency up to scale. Because I think at that time you were doing a lot of one-off projects, which are still really good, but having that monthly reoccurring revenue is obviously something that is a little bit, provides you a little bit more of a safety net. So in terms of like why you joined, what was the thing that like kind of sparked your interest in wanting to be a part of the community and take the course and get guidance and everything?
Yeah, so I think like for years, kind of doing the contractor positions and freelance stuff,
Mhm.
um, it's all well and good. Like when it comes to contract positions, like they're great because someone funnels you work, which is awesome. But it's also not great because bigger companies kind of expect loyalty from you, but give none to you. They'll kind of bid your work against someone else's, and if someone else comes in lower, then they're taking that work every time. So there's not much loyalty to you. And I realized that kind of going out for like every month, you've got to build two, three, four, five websites,
Yeah.
and find five new clients every month for kind of one service and then done. It just wasn't working out for me. It's a grind to find those clients all the time. You're
Yeah.
finding 50, 60 a year. Um, so kind of having watched your trajectory from a distance, like kind of got me involved in the course. Um, I wanted to kind of take business a little more seriously and kind of build my own clientele, rely on myself instead of relying on others for work.
Hmm.
Um, was a huge part of it, and yeah, just get away from the one-off projects
Yeah.
and build relationships with clients. Um, have those monthly retainers coming in and still chasing those big one-off jobs as well. Like that'll never really change, but having the cushion and the relationship with the clients is it's a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I know, like kind of even just relating to like your journey a little bit. I know when I started, I felt very much like a freelancer where you're constantly chasing like new projects that come in the pipeline and whether it's a one-off project or it is monthly recurring, right? Like you feel like there's just this slow grind to it. And
Kind of just taking what you can get at that point.
yeah, exactly. Like I remember everyone starts off that way, right? It's like you kind of want to start a web development agency or a paid ads agency or whatever it is, but then it's like you're taking on jobs for like completely different things and you're just happy to take it because you just want to get paid for the value you're providing, right? So the mindset definitely shifts a lot, and you
Yeah.
make a lot more money because you can actually like systematize everything in a sense where you can bring on more clients, you can actually deliver a proper service. But that all happens obviously when you start to take like the agency owner sort of approach to everything, which you're doing. Because I know that when a big discussion that me and you had when you did join the community was you're good at what you do, like you're great at what you do, and you're landing these good projects, but you'll always run into that same issue where you're kind of just chasing like those 4 or 5 projects every month. And I mean, you're just kind of a slave to like the value you're providing at that point, right? So tell me a
And
little
it
bit
kind of
more
it
about,
does
yeah, sorry.
disservice too. Like I think like just chasing whatever and taking whatever you can get. I think it does you a disservice because you can't if you're trying to hit 20 different industries, like you don't know about 20 different industries. So you're not going to be able to service those clients as well as you want to.
Yeah.
You're trying to take all this work on to build some credibility in the marketing space, but it's kind of counterintuitive because
Yeah.
you're letting people down when you just take everything. So I think
Yeah.
niching down and figuring out what you're good at and kind of promoting what you're good at and kind of staying within your lane. And that's why we work so well together because
Mhm.
uh, I'm kind of the more technical aspect and you're great at the promotion side and the ad side. So that's I think that's been a big part of the community for me is just having a bunch of people in there that are good at, that have their own strengths. They're all are willing to work together. They're all willing to refer each other. That's been a huge part of the community for me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that was always our goals when we started the community is we wanted a huge piece of the value to be everyone to be able to network and, draw ideas from each other, right? But I think that's a big problem with a lot of people when they do start is like they're bombarded with like so much information. And I mean, even myself, like I love going on like places like TikTok and YouTube and you see a lot of these people just sharing information about like what people should be doing if they're getting into the social media marketing space or whatever. Like there's some people that are super, far right in a sense where they're like, yeah, like you have to like niche down and like go into a sub niche and like find a sub niche within the sub niche. And it's kind of intense. And then there's other people that are like, yeah, just like go chase the projects and work with whoever you can. Right. And at least what I found, and from a lot of the agency owners, yourself being one of them, a lot of the people that I talk to inside the community is like, if you do find that perfect area where yes, you're niching down in a sense, but you have a good you have a good service that you can actually just basically nail down to a system. Like the moment that you onboard a client, there's an onboarding system. You know that once onboarding's complete, you know exactly what the first few steps are to get whether it's ads up and running or the website design starting to be built or like the technical components of their website being built, right? Like you have everything down to a system. So then that way, when it comes to actually hiring people, it's as easy as basically having this SOP that you can hand over to them, right? It's impossible to do that when you're working with dentists and physiotherapists and e-com brands and coaches, all these different things, right? And you just kind of sign yourself up for like honestly the worst kind of job ever because you're not working 40 hours. You're probably working closer to 50 and 60 if you're doing that, right? Like and you're probably making the same amount as someone would make at a 40-hour a week job.
Yeah,
So it's just kind of it's kind of crazy. And I think our philosophy is like we want to help people definitely like build the freedom side, right? Like you can pretty much scale an agency to kingdom come. It just comes down to the systems and how good you are at hiring and placing people inside of your business, right? But I think a lot of people they get kind of sucked into like how good the money can be if they have like 4 or 5 clients and they just say yes to everything. And then they just kind of cap themselves out at like 6 or 7K a month, but in the most inefficient way possible, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I don't have a whole lot of freedom because I'm in build phase,
Mhm.
but I'm definitely into that 50 to 70 hour a week range. But it's
Yeah.
I love it, man. I like the grind. I find that my schedule, so to say, would be kind of servicing clients throughout the day, taking calls throughout the day, sales calls, whatnot, and
Mhm.
then trying to build my business and my systems in the evenings, kind of thing. So when
Yeah.
I'm not when I'm not dealing with clients, I'm trying to build my own stuff still. So
Mhm.
I think one of the biggest perks for going through your course was just learning kind of the systems in the back end and
Yeah.
being able to like you're not starting from square one. Like you've got systems that are in place taught by you that are
Mhm.
kind of tried and true, like they're already proven. Um, so it kind of gives you a leg up because you can implement some of the systems that you have in the course and kind of just tailor them to your own service. But it
Yeah.
gives you it shortens the learning curve a lot. So it's
Mhm.
been super helpful. And that was something I was missing before going back to kind of the freelance life was I just didn't have those systems in place at all. So I
Mhm.
bring people on, I'd kind of provide one service for them, and then I kind of send them on their way. Whereas now it's still providing that kind of big month one service, which would be um, web redesign or web development from scratch, whatever it may be. But now there's systems in place to keep them onboarded for a year plus. we want to obviously keep clients for as long as possible and nurture those relationships as much as we can. But um, that was a big part of the course for me, building those systems and kind of learning how to deliver more than just a freelance kind of experience.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, I've seen it just, in the last few months with you, especially how you've kind of evolved with applying Go high level systems into obviously your service, your core service. Because now you're landing pretty much every client that you are landing. There is that upfront project aspect where it's like, yes, there's in the grand scheme of things, we're building you a big website, we're doing all this stuff. But then in the back end, now you're attaching the automation side, Google reputation management, SEO on the back end so that when the website is built, there's a management side to it as well too that you're now getting paid on a monthly recurring basis, right?
Yeah, and that's been great. Like Go High Level makes that pretty seamless. You don't have to integrate a bunch of different technologies together. It's kind of all in one dashboard, and
Mhm.
there's a ton of services you can offer within just that one dashboard.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it was funny because when we grabbed coffee the other day, you're even showing me like different components of it. Like you're like, did you know you can prospect off of here and do this and
Yeah,
that? I was like, what?
yeah, yeah. It's funny. What it just goes to show how kind of diverse the platform is. Like you use it for what you need, and I use it for what I need, and same platform has totally different purposes for both of us. So.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, to wrap things up, man, I know obviously it's sort of the beginning of the new year, but what are your plans for this year in terms of your agency growth, hiring, everything? What's your plan?
I would like to get by kind of set a goal of August. I'd like to get if I can get 50K a month by August with 5 to 7 employees, people on board, contractors, not employees, um, and just build the agency, build the credibility, build the kind of awareness around the agency,
Mhm.
and just I don't know, just knock it out of the park, man.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, for yourself, right? Like I know with website development, it's a little bit more complex, but making sure that you have, I think, people in the design position where they're designing those websites, somebody in the more technical side where they're implementing the actual technicalities behind building the website. And then on the back end, with everything that you're doing with Go High Level, it's finding a person for each position, someone to be building those automations, building the Google reputation management, everything that you basically offer with Go High Level, right? I think one thing that I learned along the way as well is like focusing on one system at a time. So there was a time where I was the guy that was building my own website, my own funnels, and then running my own ads, doing all these things, and then even delivering ads for our clients. And then I was like, okay, how can I remove one of these responsibilities from my plate? So then I hired a media buyer. My media buyer was now doing the service delivery, right? So now I could kind of focus on like more of the back end systems. Then we had, somebody else start to manage our funnels and the copywriting and all of that. And I basically just focused on one system at a time until it was about a year or two later where all I really was focusing on was sales. So I would create our own ads, I would create our own marketing material, blast it out there, get attention on what we did as an agency, and then just take sales calls. And then now I'm at the point where literally I only really just take sales calls. And I'm even looking at bringing in somebody to shadow me to actually handle the sales. And then the next step from there is bringing on someone to do HR and hiring so that we can basically maintain our sales guy just closing new clients on a monthly basis and our HR person working in cohesion with them to bring on a new really good specialized media buyer to handle on all the new inflow of new clients. And then from there, if we're bringing on 10 to 15 clients a month, it's like, you give it a year and you're at around 120 plus clients, right? And it sounds crazy because I know that a lot of people in the agency space are like, yeah, I just want like 10 or 15 clients, remain boutique. But I kind of steer the other way where I'm like, if you have 15 clients, L's don't really come in ones and twos, like they come in threes and fours. So you wake up one morning and a client, they want to leave. It's usually like three or four. So now you've lost a third or a fifth of your
Yeah,
business. And you're kind of just like,
hire
shit,
back to
what do I
them.
do? Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like to go the route where I'm like, prepare yourself, prepare yourself for the worst potentially. And just, of course, make sure you're delivering a good service and everything. But if you have 50 plus clients, 100 plus clients, and you lose 4 or 5 clients in a matter of a week, it's not really going to affect you that much. And you can still bring on more clients, right? You have the systems in place to do that. So I'd rather people be more prepared for it. And I know that's a common problem amongst every single agency owner. I hear it all the time in my consultation calls. I hear it all the time amongst a lot of my friends who run agencies. No one really talks about that side about losing clients, but it's just a natural thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of our approach to the agency side in terms of clientele.
Yeah, and I think that that speaks to the systems you put in place, right? Like whether
Yeah.
you have 10 clients or 1,000 clients, it's
Mhm.
should be the same experience for everyone. And one of the modules in your course is all about how you're hiring, where you're hiring, all of that sort of stuff. So if you can build the systems and if you can have the right people in place, like I think any business in general, like the leader of the business, the owner of the business, if everything goes as planned, then you're kind of just steering the ship.
Yeah.
You have everyone in place who's doing their role, and you're kind of just there to provide the why every day. So
Yeah.
I think the fact that you're on that path is pretty sweet. So
Mhm.
get up to that 150 clients and then see if you can double it next year.
That's the goal, man. Yeah, if we're when we get there, we'll definitely have. I'll pretty much have worked myself out of the out of the agency at that point. I'm not even too sure what I'd be doing, but we'll see.
A lot of golf and cigars.
A lot of golfing. Yeah, exactly. We'll be on the courses a lot this summer.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
I
man.
think one thing that like uh Hormozy said it last week, and one thing that I've kind of picked up in the last 6 months when reviewing kind of my life with the freelance and contractor lifestyle is like just because you're working your ass off doesn't always mean that you're doing the right tasks. So
Yeah.
it was time to kind of bite the bullet and take your course and realize that yeah, like I was still putting in 40, 60 hour weeks back then, but now like life hadn't changed for a couple years. So
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not working hard enough, it's just that I wasn't doing the right shit. So
Yeah.
taking your course helped me kind of identify where my effort should be placed. And now that my days look different, my tasks are different, I'm starting to see those different results. So it's been
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's very much it acts as a good guide, right? Because and I felt the same way. But when I started my agency and I was investing into different communities and programs, I felt that like the biggest piece of value was it aligned me with what I now found out I needed to be doing, right? Like I was just wasting so much time doing stuff that like wasn't really moving the needle forward. And then
Yeah.
once I became aware of that new sort of like paradigm shift in a sense where I'm like, oh, like these are actually the things I need to be focusing on. Then I started noticing my agency started just to like scale consistently month after month. And I was actually able to maintain it, which was great. So yeah, it's all about the systems, right?
For a lot of people, I don't think it's a lack of effort. I think it's just understanding where that time should be placed.
Totally. Totally, man. Yeah, we see it all the time. We see it all the time. People are building PDFs and ebooks and stuff when it's like, if you don't have your first client yet, like just focus on client acquisition, right? Get your first client. Like you don't have a business until someone's paying you. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we're always telling people.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
it, man.
Awesome.
I'm appreciative of everything that's all the support you give me. All the course was great. Getting to be local here with you and meeting
Mhm.
up for those coffees for a couple hours in the afternoon. It's been a huge support. So appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, appreciative of you being a part of the community, man. I know that you add tons of value to it. A lot of people in the Q&A calls are always coming to you for like the website advice and everything as well too. So it's been great. Even collaborating on all these clients that we're, passing each other's way. It's been a lot of
Yeah,
fun, man. So I'm excited
yeah,
to see where you're at by August. Ideally that 50K range.
yeah. Let's do another one of these, and we'll see.
100%. Awesome, man. All right. We'll end the call off there. I appreciate your time, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.